All right. So just gonna have to move this over there and then plug in. All right. So that's plugged in. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not properly working. Uh, so um, when it was Saturday night, I guess Trump did this bunker buster airstrike thing on these nuclear like uranium enrichment sites in Iran. And a lot of people think that it was necessary and something that had to be done and should have happened and all that. But there's also a lot of conflicting opinions, even like from the right wing, like people that love Trump, even people who'd be like a diehard Trump supporter, even are questioning the strike. You're my new subscriber from the last couple days, maybe, or like subscribing like you just subscribed. Yeah, I mean, I did give my name out a couple of times on Saturday or something and all that. But yeah, like there's definitely implications to the whole strike thing, and something that I found. Um, oh, we don't care. It's weed, dog. It's a platinum lemon cherry gelato. Listen, the basically, yo, why are you spamming? Why are you spamming, Nathan? Do you think we care? I don't know, dog. Why do you have to speak for the rest of chat? Maybe the rest of chat cares. Maybe people care. What are you, some kind of fucking Ayatollah, motherfucker? You want to take down the fucking West and stop me from speaking? I could fucking ban you anytime I want, dog. You ain't shit compared to me from the looks of fucking things. I don't need your chat. So you better shake the fuck up or ship the fuck out, bud. You don't. The fuck? Anyways, I wasn't talking to the new subscriber, man. I was talking to this guy spamming. Yo, if that guy thought that I was talking to him, I'll ban you, man, for spamming the guy writing in caps. Time wasting for me. But yeah. Listen. Nathan Mays, what the hell, man? You got no subscribers. Dude, you fucking distracted me, man. So listen. Yo, I'm just trying to chill and talk a bit. Like, what I'm gonna say is 10 times more interesting than whatever fucking some punk ass who's been talking about this stuff for ages. Like, I ain't the shill, man. So, but the point is, like, dude, just because I don't got all this shit set up, prepared beforehand, doesn't mean that I don't got shit to say. Damn. Like, you're just accusing me of not having shit to say. You're wasting time with that fact. Who's to say I got all the time in the world and I'm going to be here all day, man? The hell? Why don't you just sit back and enjoy the show, man? I don't trust people named Nathan, by the way. Fuck that. Every person I met named Nathan was a jerk. So. So listen. Trump did this strike. Everybody's saying it's a good thing. It had to be done 20 years ago by now. Oh, it should have just been done by 20 years ago. Other people say, oh, it's going to make Fukushima look like cakewalk, all that. Then we're going to have all this stuff going on. But what I find very interesting is that now they're saying that they're going to activate their sleeper cells in the United States because this has been done. And so the Arab world is probably all pissed off or something right now. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about the, you know, the Eastern societies and the BRICS nations, and then, like, you know, the Arab world uniting against the United States and stuff. And pretty much, like, I always thought it was a little interesting how they have that Black Ops 2 video game with the Menendez plot and all that in 2025, like it's predictive programming. And I always kind of felt like, man, something's going to happen like that. And it's happened with other things before, so why not with that, right? And then 2025 comes out, they're coming out with this Black Ops 7. It sounds like some autism stuff, but it's really not, because in Black Ops 2 Call of Duty, America gets attacked in the future. At the time when it came out, it was the future. And then it's like, yo, this Arab guy and whatever, like, takes over all of the drones of the U.S. military and causes a huge uprising in the United States. And then, like, you see all these protesting things happen. If you know the ending of that video game, you know that basically, like, they're saying that, like, you know, these riots and shit and all this and all that stuff, like, happens in the game. It's just very interesting. Like, I think that there's some kind of somewhat connection, like a loose connection, to the modern like things that are happening in the media. But yeah, it's just a thought that I had. Like, it reminds me of some of the stuff in Black Ops 2, the video game. And yeah. Other than that, I mean, maybe it's a little far fetched, but I think that nothing happens like by accident in politics, and I think everything's pre-planned anyway for a lot of the part. But then again, there's a lot of things that hang in the balance of some things that are happening in the future. Like, you could argue that America facing China when it comes to Taiwan is like a big deal when it comes to the fate of the world, I suppose. When it comes to who wins and what, and like when it comes to these specific types of wars, it will dictate the course of like civilization into the future. So I'm just saying that if you downplay this at the same time, you're kind of like the type of person who would downplay it back when it was happening extreme, back in like I don't know, back in Algeria or something, when when the Arabs did what they did over there. Uh, or like they are in London and UK right now. Like, people think that, and it's like, we have freedom of religion and stuff, but I don't know, man. So pretty much, it's gonna cause like from what I understand and from what I could see of people talking and what makes sense to me is that they're gonna definitely gang up on Israel now, and like I think that the yeah, like I think that there's definitely like a World War III thing coming, and a war with Iran, and they're acting like it's not a war with Iran. So yeah, and you think we care? You think we care? Speaking for all of chat, but I don't know. I know by now that like there's a lot of people who don't really know things about politics anyway. So like I don't know. There's some people who won't even know these things, even if you know everything about like you already know all this stuff maybe. So I don't know. But it's like, damn, dude, I should ban you, man, because like you're trying to talk all this shit and undermine my confidence, make me feel like I'm an asshole for even being here. But yeah, the weed is called Platinum Lemon Cherry Gelato. And I think that was the rest of it. So yeah. Although I do have something. Yeah. Um I remember when I was young, I read this book called it was something like The War of All Ages or something like that, and it was talking about Bible prophecy stuff. But yeah, freaking but it was saying that the all these different nations would like surround Israel and try to get at them or something. I don't even, and like I don't remember all the stuff that I read from that book, but I haven't read all of the Bible. I've read a lot of the Old Testament, to be honest. So yeah, I haven't read all of the Bible still, even though by now I've probably had the ample time to. And yeah, we do that here. We beef in and smoke.
Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again. Shit to change. That is crazy.
Freak, man. Oh. So yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go to like the White House website and read their like read their press material about. Damn, I'm like bending the hell over because of trying to like be close enough, and there's stuff in the way. Probably looks stupid bending down mad far. All right, media. Oh damn, I had some kind of thing. Yeah, I should have done this last night, honestly, because the energy was more there. What the hell? I can't read aloud? That's that's bullcrap. Maybe on the laptop. Uh so yeah, I don't want to just chalk it up to like the Black Ops 2 scenario being that whole thing. But when they're talking about, I don't know, they're talking about sleeper cells and stuff in the news, and it's not like things like that don't exist. It's like my interpretation of the matter is that like this happening means that they are indeed going to be, if not already, activated. And everybody is a real pansy and likes to sugarcoat things about like things like that, but am I tripping on that matter? Anyways, let me find some material. Yeah, and yeah, everybody is gonna end up finding out the hard way probably because so many people are like, oh, violence. Oh no, like they just clam up, they just shut down, and they think, oh, people here to destroy America, people here to like do these things. Everybody is like, we don't care. Nathan Mays. Yo, fuck you, bro. We don't care, huh? Well, who do you fucking stand for? Who do you represent then, bud? How about we don't care about you? How about we fucking throw you into the void and make you disappear? Why are you so mad? Why are you mad that I'm here, bud? Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, Nathan could try better. Like, he could perhaps try to articulate himself, like, why don't you care? That's what I'm wondering anyway. So I'm gonna find the Trump speech, man. Even though I've watched it already, I just figure might as well be going over.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow,
Oh, it doesn't
Natanz,
help you
and
pay.
Esfa.
So it doesn't help you pay your bills, huh? Well, did I fucking say that I'm here to help you pay your bills? Some guy named Nathan? I mean, don't you think that I'm somewhat here for myself a little bit, or here for like the people, or just, here to be? Save the world? Listen, I mean, yeah, I mean, dude, do you even know that the gas prices are most likely going to like double or whatnot because of these strikes? Do you know about that? I mean, hopefully you want to plan accordingly to the gas prices that are probably going to go up because of the fucking shit they're saying about the Strait of Hormuz or whatever. That the Iranians are going to go shut that down, and then we're going to have another war and cause another war because it's all about depopulation and getting rid of people and less people on the earth. Just like the Georgia Guidestone says, that got blown the hell up. Oh, I'm just talking, my guy. I don't know. I've only been here for a few minutes, man. But you act like you own this shit. You act like you run this. This is my channel, dude. And not only that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not just talking. There's a lot of people that can just talk. Yeah, but I mean, oh, holy shit, this guy. Yeah, but sounds to me like you're upset about what I'm talking about, trying to shut me down, man. That's fine. You're just upset because you're some kind of liberal fucking bootlicker weirdo who wants to. You are just. Yeah, but you aren't criticizing. You're just honestly a retard. So, yeah, I'm not saying that it is closed. I did use the words most likely. So, just for me saying that and saying that it could happen, My transition with 7 watchers. I mean, why don't you get the fuck out then? Okay, so the Security Council has to approve the closure. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I never said that I did know. I never said that I had the inside scoop on all that. Where's your catalog? Where's your brand? I guess I'm supposed to believe you. I don't know. At least I'm here, and it's something that you obviously can't do. Somebody with no face. I mean, dude, you're just a commenter. You can't obviously do what I'm doing. So, where's your brand? So, I start playing Trump speaking on it and you start freaking out. Um I mean, oh, I got to be able to answer these like come on. Like, dude, I don't see it, man. I'm not really impressed with your guys' stuff. You're probably the same guy writing on the 2 different accounts. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you're just some, you know, no, you're not helping anything out. The way I see it, you're literally writing in all caps. That's classic spam. You're literally like, I don't know. I'm guessing that you're obviously like a troll, or you're just obviously like an angry person. So I don't know. It's like I'm just talking. Like, if anything, you're stopping me from getting to the points of anything that I'm getting to. Like, me mentioning the. Oh, I just ramble. Okay, I have no points to make. I said that the sleeper cells are activated. Nobody's saying that. Nobody. They're saying that they threatened them to be activated. The Iranians threatened them. Oh, they're activated, all right, bud. It's not rambling. I say things that other people aren't willing to say. So you don't even know me. Tell my mommy to help me. Well, if you guys want it to be banned so bad, I guess you got it. So I'm not gonna deal with the spamming and trolling. I mean, other people have things to say. This guy got all the answers. I mean, look, I know things more than you, obviously. What do you have to say? My shit stream? Okay, dude. Like, nobody asked you to give a fuck about it, dude. And you just, like, you have nothing to say. You're just saying that I have nothing to say. You're literally a faceless nobody. What, Mr. One subscriber, dude? Um, dude, like I don't know. I just started the stream and I started talking. You know how many people do that? Like, at least I'm not sitting here fucking doing drugs and being a fucking degenerate and being a fucking loser. No, I'm just trying to fucking make a point that I'm not like I am not above talking to you guys and trying to like get at what you're trying to like figure out in all this, but I don't know, man. You guys are too confusing. You guys are too trolling. Like, you're fucking sitting here trolling nonstop. How am I being a loser? What am I doing that's a loser? There you go. You're disappeared or you're gone forever. You don't exist anymore. You're a piece of shit. You're worthless. You're a scumbag. Nobody will ever love you. Nobody will ever care about you. Um, must suck, really. Must really suck to be a fucking loser. With nothing real to say, like a fake ass, bitch ass, loser, troll. I don't really give a fuck, dude. Oh, I'm supposed to not be a fucking drug addict and a loser? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, seriously, because I actually don't fucking sit there and be a fucking degenerate, loser, pathetic drug addict, scumbag, leech, weirdo, clout chasing pig on stream all the fucking time, right? Because I'm not doing that. Sorry, I'm not a fucking pussy ass bitch like you and everybody else that you ever fucking loved and gave a fuck about in your life, dude.
Thank you very much.
I said some
A
shit,
short time
dude.
ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Heard
Anti-paroxysm.
those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear capacity and
Oh, you know what? I forgot to even put on
posed by the
all
world's
chat.
number one
It
state
was on
sponsor
top
of
chat.
terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen.
I'll be right back.
Continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services at this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack.
I don't know,
all
man.
That being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There's never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Trump did that. I don't know. People talk about the radiation and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. And then people were saying that good on the education. Yeah. And oh yeah, it's not that's not directed towards you. That pinned comment was directed towards these other two guys who came in here and were just acting like jerks and trying to troll a lot. Um At least, yeah, I'm pretty sure. It was basically like these guys were saying, "Shut up, bro. Nobody cares. Why are you even talking, bro? Bro, nobody cares. I certainly don't care. Nobody cares." Writing all in caps, like it's like, yeah, sure, dude. Nobody cares, right? Yeah. So that guy said he's here to educate twats like you. So I thought that was funny because I was like, oh, what about the Strait of Hormuz or whatever, and how they're gonna maybe shut it down and make the oil more expensive. It's like, so yeah, but even so, oh, they can't. I mean, then why do they act so brazenly, boastfully anti-American, and how come they burn our American flags in their parliaments and stuff like that, or whatever the hell they call it? How come they say "Death to America"? I'm just curious, why they hate America so much. Oh, they're so above sleeper cells. Like you're telling me that, like, the Arab people so well and you've been amongst them that they would never do such a thing. Not a single one of them, not a single radical one ever. Not to be freaking like rude or anything. Jeez. Yeah, exactly. Joe Biden, I mean, you can say that. Joe Biden is very much to blame. I mean, I wouldn't be, look at Obama. Who the hell is Obama? I mean, is Obama even an American citizen? When you look at it, like, um, Trump himself was calling into the news saying, yo, Obama's Barry Soetoro. He's not even American. Like, there's this whole thing that he was born and raised or whatever in Indonesia and all this stuff. The country is completely already overrun with sleeper cells, actually. Taken over. Like, the sleeper cells are. Ow! Damn. Am I tripping out? I don't think so. It's like, if you don't understand, like, go ask the AI what a sleeper cell is. They hate America because religion. This is why we have closed boards now. Yeah, closed boards. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't know, man. Remember 9/11? These liberals don't understand that. Yeah. And it's like, I know that you could like I get the arguments where people say that they don't trust Trump and whatever. Like I can understand that, but I don't understand like when people are going so hard against the I don't know, the good things that he says or the things that are good in the platform. You know, even when you look at it unemotionally and logically, it's like, come on, man. When Kamala Harris was coming in and saying what she was saying, am I really going to go for that? Like, and it's like to be. I don't even understand it when it comes to like a black person voting for that because they're being deceived. You know, like so many black people have admitted to me the whole Democrat thing that it's like, oh, the Democrat is modern day slave plantation and whatever. And it's like the Democrats don't care about. It's just weird. I mean, I think both sides are honestly weird. I think, in my opinion, like I don't know, like I don't believe in the Republican like party the same way that I would have believed in like Trump back when he first showed up. But I know better than to I don't know, like I do but I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about the president. Liberals are mad at Trump because it wait, liberals are mad at Trump is because he is Republican. If he was a Democrat, they would have never hated Trump. And you have a good point with that. And Trump basically did have democratic looks and leanings and vibes back in the old days from what everybody was saying. Like he and he hung out with like Hillary Clinton and all that. So he was like dealing with the Democrats, hanging out with them. He was New York City kind of guy. And all rich and famous. So I like Trump also shares a lot of their like a lot of values that they have on that side. I feel like at the same time, Republicans are for the middle class. The middle class is what builds the backbone of this country. Democrats, I don't care what they say, they're for the rich. That's all they're for. Yeah, and rich people oftentimes don't seem to comprehend what it's like for other people in the country. Like I don't know, rich people are like there's just these different classes in the country and they don't understand they really like they think they know because they're rich the value of a dollar better than you ever could, but that's because they I guess have had so many dollars to spend and I don't know like spoiled rich. So yeah, I think that I don't know entirely when it comes to the economic part of things. For me, it's not as obvious. I can't exactly tell what's going to happen with what. But I mean, let's say we get into a war with Iran and they block that strait or whatever happens. Like, what exactly is going to happen in the future? You know, is that a part of the whole um like is Trump like enacting the hand, of course, of the same people that's been controlling the country for a long time, and this is all just a big new world order, um, game, But damn, yeah, a lot of uncertainty in my own thoughts about it. But I don't know, like I'm not a complete idiot, like so I don't feel like it's completely out of the question for me to be getting involved in these conversations. You honestly don't feel like there will be a war? I honestly think there will be a war because I don't know, it's always been said that like they're gonna have war with Iran, and that's the goal for years. Like that's the at the end of the day, that will not be allowed to build nukes. Period. Yeah, but Trump even threatened them that if they don't come to the table about peace and whatnot, that they're going to just annihilate them or something. That they it's going to be much easier now. They're just gonna, they have plenty more targets to go. So that's very interesting. And then Congress and all these people are starting to freak out about Trump's actual powers as the president to do these things. Yeah, but you guys don't understand that the Chinese and the Russians are going to sit there and get involved. Just like they have with Ukraine, just like with I suppose the Korean War, Vietnam, all these proxy wars and whatnot. I mean, wouldn't it make sense that the Russians and whatnot would get involved, or am I tripping? Unless they just say screw them and abandon the whole idea, because I guess like is that enough to deal with Ukraine and China? Has enough to deal with their problems. I guess you have a point, because there is a lot to be said about that, about military power not being overexerted and spent too far and wide. Like if you heard me there, like yeah, that makes sense though. And that would be like a question probably to ask the Grok or whatever, the AI, and be like, what exactly would be going on with I bet it might be able to tell you something like that. But at the same time, I don't know, yeah, like AI, I don't know. AI feels like something that we're all gonna have to figure something out about, because there's so many people in the world, and then now we have AI, and it's dangerous. It actually is pretty dangerous. It just is. I know it sounds silly and cringe almost, but like all the stuff they said about AI is coming true. It's about time the president did something about what's going on. Yeah, I mean here's something to say. It's like maybe it's the right time, like militarily, strategically, like militarily, like strategically. It could have just been the right timing for Trump to do that, to order that attack. It might be the right timing politically to challenge the like what people perceive as the presidential power of the executive commander in chief to be able to launch a military operation like that. Like, because now they're all trying to say, oh, he should be impeached for that. Not all of them, but like the AOC types and stuff, they're saying he should be impeached because he's trying to declare war. Um, but I don't know. Weren't those were all things that were added to the Constitution after the fact, and there's a lot of people. Yeah, funny part is we're going to start seeing liberals carry the Iranian flag. Yep. Yeah, the same flag of the people who say death to America and all that. To me, that's why I can't imagine being a liberal the way that liberals are understood in America, because it's such an embarrassment. It's such a complete facade. It's an illusion. It's such a sad state of affairs. It's such an abomination, a destruction of the self. Liberals are going so far left that there's just no coming back. Yeah, they are. It's sad too. Like, there's things that I don't know. At times, liberals can like impress you with like how smart they are and how they know things, but I just don't know. Like sometimes you wonder if they really do know better than to be a liberal, but they just did it as some kind of self-destructive like thing, such as doing drugs or like smoking cigarettes. You know, like liberals actually dress like the Iranian people when they're in protest. Yeah, I'm glad I haven't gotten caught up in too much liberal protest stuff. Kevin Smith, I'd rather be friends with Israel. They don't toss those different from them from rooftops and don't expect women in the kitchen. Iran is pure evil, dude. What don't you all get? Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I mean, though. Like, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I think people, like, sure, like, they're, I've been in 3 of them with my Trump flags. The sad part is it's not that I support Trump. I support a great president for America, and he was the choice. Yeah. Um. You look at Kamala at the time. It's like, what am I going to do about that? What are you going to do about that? Are you a man or are you a coward? You know, it's like, do you care about the West? Do you care about America? Whoops. Damn it. No. It's like, do you care about America, right? You know? And that's what you're thinking about when you're voting. Is literally the number one thing that you're thinking about. Yeah, Kamala, the border czar. You mean the border czar? What is that? I think I remember it was like Biden was like, I'm gonna appoint Kamala Harris to be the border czar. Yeah, and it's like, that's how you knew it was like, you know, it was like what it was. That was sort of like a slap in the face to the American people on purpose, all that stuff. But what isn't, right? In politics these days, especially. Like nobody's concerned with pleasing the people anymore. It seems to me only Trump seems concerned with pleasing people. Like, what are the liberals even doing? What are they even fighting for? You know? Like the stuff they say? Do you like metal music? Yes. It's probably my favorite, or, you know, second favorite. It's definitely one of my favorites. Damn. That and rock and roll and stuff. Oh, cool. Dan Kennedy Show, you got 334 subscribers. Not bad, man. You got more subs than me. Liberals are protesting no king when Trump just admitted they said if he was a king, why does he have to go to Congress to get a bill passed? Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's so stupid. That's how weak-minded the liberals are, though. Tara Verdon song Fury? I'll look it up. I play music on here sometimes, you know? so maybe I'll play it. Very weak-minded. There's always been gay marriage. We don't care about what we don't care. What you want to do to your body, it's your choice. But when it comes to the kids, we do care. Yeah, and that's why, in a way, I don't really care about, like, people can do what they want in the bedroom and all that. They can do what they want. Um, I don't know, like, I don't have much of an opinion on the marriage thing. I don't really know. But all that stuff, I don't exactly know like a full detailed thing of what I would think should be. But I do think that yeah, it's like the Pride Parade too. It's like, well, okay, people go like I don't know, go naked and stuff to those things, and it's like if I did it in any day, any given day, I'd be arrested, man. They'd be like, "Oh, you're a fucking predator," all this shit. Anybody would be arrested. But then it's like you guys just get to do whatever you want because you hide behind the whole rainbow flag. And then you know what? All that shit should come to an end because the double standard's real in this society. Fucking gay people, trans people, and all this stuff for too long, for too damn long, have been given the pass. As in, they get away with crimes, just like in certain cases, black people are given the pass, getting away with crimes. Not always, which people might, black people might hear that and get mad and stuff because they're like, no, that's not true. Black people get racially profiled and disparaged all the time. And it's like, sure, definitely. I think so, actually. But in some cases, they're like, oh, just give him a slap on the wrist, because it's all that culture. Like, he's one of us, and they're disparaged too much. And it's about time people, the Democrats sit there and do shit for them sometimes. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen shit. And not only that, more so than that, the illegals, the illegal fucking aliens and shit, sit there and go driving on 100 miles an hour, drunk as fuck, and then fucking like some Mandarin speaking Asian guy, drunk as hell, got caught by the police and stuff and gets a slap on the wrist with his Asian translator dude and his, bag of money from home or something. And that's just all fine to be done in front of the people and the juries and stuff. That's stuff I've seen, like, Cytera Viridin song Fury. But yeah, like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of bad things about the LGBTQ protests. Like, in a way, not protests. The hell am I talking about? Think about it. We let people come into the United States tax-free from other countries. They all get together, but buy stores, then buy gas stations. Why the American people struggle? Yeah, they're selling water for $4 a bottle and stuff like that. We've been raped as the American people. I can't go buy a store. Nobody wants to get together with me and buy anything. Everybody's a selfish, satanic, self-absorbed, condescending, psychopath, pill popping, weirdo, kinky sex freak, drug addict, fucking motherfucker. That's everybody in America right now. And everybody's gonna learn the hard way when fucking Menendez and Cordes D comes and shit. That's another thing. Liberals created the fentanyl, and all it's doing is destroying American people. Yeah, I mean, there's some poor motherfuckers out there. That's all I could say. Yeah, I'm cursing too much. I'd really like to articulate myself in a cleaner way. So I got to make a bit of an effort to, like, in my opinion, like, curse a little less. I feel like I'm too dirty sometimes. But yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe I should curse when I'm playing music and be like rock and roll, like not care, and then like, not curse when I'm doing this as much. They'll wake up with boils. Sad part of the liberals do all this because they despise Trump because of what the media has said about Trump. Yeah, oh yeah, about the no kings thing. It's like, when did Trump say he's the king? I mean, yeah, and it's like they just literally made up this whole thing that Trump's the King Trump and stuff, and because the media and the Time Magazine thing. So because a Time Magazine puts the crown on Trump and acts like it's King Trump and all that, you know, they just say, "Oh, no kings," and so like I don't know where the proof is of all that entirely. And I don't know. I mean, it would be like there's other presidents who've like acted like kings before, man. That's all they do. Plus, I do believe they're getting paid for these protests. Well, yeah, there's paid protesters is definitely a thing. It's been happening. I know I've seen the Craigslist ads in the past, like back when remember the billions of dollars Joe Biden lost that supposedly went to Ukraine, but Ukraine never got. Oh, what Zelensky was like, we never got these. Hmm. Yeah, I should definitely monitor all this stuff. That's what the protesters are being paid with. That and other people, like people from outside of the country, and like NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and these weird liberal groups that are funded by big billionaires from all over the world. But I don't know. Yeah, what's the deal with the Walmart owner? Something that he funded the No Kings parade? Oh, really? There you go. Yeah, I was there at the in New York City the night of the No Kings thing, but I didn't actually get a look at it because I was doing something else. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, about the Walmart thing, but I don't know. Not entire. I never heard of that one. Am I religious or a Christian? I For my life I've been spiritually yeah, go to Target instead. Yeah, I never go to Walmart. So, you know, but religious or Christian? I do disagree with a lot of modern interpretations of religion and Christianity, and I do disagree with a lot of Christians of the modern era and the whole the churches. I disagree with a lot of the organized religion stuff going on. I don't find myself being all perfectly involved in it and that I've ever been treated like I am either. See, at the end of the day, we're all going to have disagreements, but at least we could talk about them. Liberals, you can't talk to them about anything. And that's true for the most part, for a huge part. They all think that, like, their stuff is law. Um, pretty much, damn. It's like hot in this room, a little hot, but it's all good. So, I've read a bunch of the Bible and the Old Testament, and I haven't read all of the Jesus parts with the New Testament. I know about a lot of parts in there, and I know things, but I don't know it all. Yeah, same here. It's like in the 90s here. I'm in New York. And but yeah, I do believe that I don't know, I do think that there's stuff to the Bible. I think that I had a feeling about it when I was reading it. I did read all the laws of Moses. I read it all in that part. When they make Sunday law, don't obey, rebel, it's the mark of the beast. So you mean when they enforce that Sunday is the Sabbath or something instead of what do you mean Sunday law anyway? Is it like that the Sabbath day is supposed to be on Saturday and not on Sunday? Because that's something that I've already dealt with in my life. I've literally lost a job over that because this because this woman, I don't know, like a new manager at this place, this little Italian woman like freaked out on me about it and threatened to call the cops on me and told me to get the fuck out, never come back and shit because I was trying. It's a long story, but I was being fucking abused at that place for believing what I believe, or I guess on that, and not having my Sabbath day respected and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, the world will hate those who keep the Sabbath. Yeah. So the Sabbath is something that's very important to me because I read in the Bible that what it said about those that will not obey the Sabbath and like act like and feel that they're above the Sabbath, like feel that they don't have to follow it. How's it in New York? I know there's a lot of liberals and I know everything's expensive down there. It's the seal of God. Yeah, I think that the Sabbath is like one of the most, if not the most important one of all of them. But I think the Ten Commandments are also everything else of the core principles of where to start when it comes to religious standing in the Bible and being right with God. And people would be surprised that it's not the hardest thing in the world to be right with God because all you really have to do is be a good person and not be a liar, not be and just to not try to, I don't know, to not thrive with evil, you know, which might be harder for a lot of people for than it is for others maybe because some people, like, I feel like some people are so used to evil or got used to evil and they made money, they made fortune and fame or whatever with evil. And like, I think that there is things to be like people have had benefits and then it's like, but they didn't realize all along the benefits of God, of like being right with God. And God said that if you don't walk contrary unto him and if you walk with him, that he won't, and if you don't abhor his teachings, he won't abhor you. I'm guessing. I'm thinking. I think that's what it said. So I think a lot of it is like when people are intentionally evil to God too and do wrong by him is where people are really, you know, not with God. So yeah, people don't realize according to biblical understanding and tradition and teaching and all that, like that it is possible. You know what I mean? People think it's impossible. And I feel like anybody can think it's impossible or feel that way. And yeah, so in New York, it is very expensive. It's practically impossible to freaking live down here. Um, it's hard to live. It's hard to be who you are. It's hard to believe in God over in New York. It's hard to like openly be about that kind of life. Except in certain areas, yes, there are like churchy communities and stuff. Um, if you even suspect God's real in New York, everybody's out to get you. Like everybody's literally ready to like, in the streets and stuff. They're just if you say nothing about that. But yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of liberals around. Where I live, it's very evenly blended. So there's liberals everywhere where I live, especially in the city area, and then out in the countryside and the woods, there are a lot of conservatives and constitutionalist types, people who know the old way of America at least a bit, and country types. They will attack large cities first, so it's dangerous. Yeah, the cities are destined to be destabilized for sure. That's where all the chaos is going to happen. There's so many people in the city, so many different people. When I went to the city, like when I go to the city lately, I notice that like there's so many people not speaking English too, and there's just these random people everywhere. So yeah, I think that I don't know if you ever maybe you've heard of I don't want to talk about that exactly. Maybe I should go back to it in another stream though. What you said just made me think about the whole John Teeter theory with the time travel and stuff, and with the whole what he was talking about and how the nuclear war was supposed to happen in 2015 in his timeline, and how the Russians nuked all the U.S. cities and stuff, and that they saw it as a good thing in their timeline, which is hard to really explain the whole John Teeter thing, but I guess if you look it up, you could find it. But yeah, it's just a time travel thing. One of the reasons why I don't know if I would believe it is because the time travel concept in that whole thing relies on I think the Earth not being flat. So I think I suspect more so that the Earth is flat because of the Bible. And I'm not sure if the science mumbo jumbo checks out and like makes me believe it more than the Bible. If it's that, like, I don't know. If it wasn't for Biden allowing open borders, this wouldn't be an issue. Now Democrats are worried. Ha 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 ha. Yo, whoa. Some Russian guy just came in here and put some Iranian flags. Yeah. Hello, America. Well, hello to you. You're most likely Russia. Hello, Russia. Jūs parles français? I don't speak French. Um, I'm part French in my like genetically. The so So yeah, hmm.
And joining me now is Vice President JD Vance. Vice President Vance, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Kristen. Great to be with you.
Thank you for being here on a monumental.
The operation was really extraordinary. These guys flew from Missouri. They didn't land a single time. They dropped 30,000-pound bombs on a target the size of a washing machine, and then got back home safely without ever landing in the Middle East or ever stopping.
That's a good
other
one.
than to
Me,
briefly
cyber guy.
refuel. And of course, they did that in the air.
That's
so it's really an incredible operation, a testament to the power of American military.
you know.
And
So
I
is
think
that like
what
that's like a that's sort of like a city, please. Um, what about the city? What city? Um, I guess you could say New York City. New York City. So yeah. So I think that the world is going to, like, I don't know, I feel like there's going to be, like, there's a lot of people that we're talking about, well, not a lot of people. Somebody was talking about a Gog and Magog prophecy with Israel and Iran, and that the Arabs are going to surround Israel and attack Israel, and that we might see the USA even get destroyed in the process of all this, or that Israel will. Now, I don't know. Maybe like maybe speculation's a little screwy. I don't know. Manhattan, yeah, you could say that. Manhattan. I saw some girl the last time I was in New York City holding a sign at the Washington statue. Um, and there was all this graffiti saying "Free Gaza" on the George Washington statue, like arc thing. And I was like, "What the hell?" And you know, then there was this chick holding a sign that said "Jesus is coming." There. Well, I hope I never get. Well, yeah. America is the second beast of Revelation. Yeah, I guess like like maybe a part of me have always wished that these things weren't true, but maybe it is true. You know, it's funny that when you're growing up, you're taught that magic isn't real, but it is in the Bible. So everybody at one point in this world has believed once upon a time in magic. And even if you ask me, even the artificial intelligence can't even disprove magic and has to admit that divination, magic, and all these things that were brought up in the Bible were in fact something that had to have been real to their understanding. Rome and the Vatican is the first beast. And and I'm not trying to like, I don't know. Rome and Vatican is the first beast. All leaders bow to the Pope, aka the Antichrist. And that was what somebody was saying. The Pope is going to be the one who ends up leading a lot of this new war or something like that. And they were saying he's an American Pope when he got first put in place. So I'm gonna have to get off eventually, I guess. But we're chilling. We are getting closer to the mark being enforced in the second beast, forcing all to worship the first beast. So, what do you think about? So, do you think that the Romans are still pagan and still believe in their old Roman gods to this day, and that has to do with why they're not really like compatible with the God of the Bible as well? And I don't know, like, are they in a way, are they sort of like hijacking the Bible, which is Hebrew roots, like a Hebrew origin of the Bible, of course. Not saying that it's custom necessarily to like only Jews or something, but like all days of the week were named after Roman gods. Yeah, I have heard all that stuff before, named after gods. I didn't know it was Roman gods necessarily, but damn. You have a lot to say. Lynn H. Thursday or Thursday. Have you been here before, Lynn? I feel like you might have been here before. But yeah, either way, your thoughts, your commentary, and your words are welcome. I don't think I have. It just your name seems a little familiar. I wonder if I've seen you out I'm out. I wonder if I've seen you like in some comment section somewhere. But it's all good. I appreciate you hanging out. Everybody who's coming. I guess except these guys who are telling me who even cares. So yeah, might get off soon because I got some stuff to do. Anyhow, but I'll be right back. I'll figure that out. All right, so yeah. I guess I'll listen to some of this JD Vance interview.
It shows what can happen when you have that great American military in the hands of capable presidential leadership. What we did is we destroyed the Iranian nuclear program. I think we set that program back substantially, and we did it without endangering the lives of the American pilots. That's an incredible thing, and I think we all should be proud. Whatever our politics, we should be proud of what these guys accomplished. A very, very high impact mission under a lot of pressure.
Mr. Vice President, let's
I don't know how to
what
pronounce
next.
your
President Trump posted on
your
social
name,
media,
the
quote,
Russian
any
guy.
retaliation by Iran will be met with force greater than what was witnessed tonight. If Iran retaliates against the U.S., as it is threatening, what will the United States response be?
Well, Kristen, that's ultimately going to be the president's decision. But what we've said to the Iranians is we do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace. But we want peace in the context of them not having a nuclear weapons program. And that's exactly what the president accomplished last night. I really think there are two big questions for the Iranians here. Are they going to attack American troops, or are they going to continue with their nuclear weapons program? And if they leave American troops out of it and they decide to give up their nuclear weapons program once and for all, then I think the president has been very clear. We can have a good relationship with the Iranians. We can have a peaceful situation in that region of the world. We have to step back a little bit, Kristen, and remind ourselves that we negotiated aggressively with the Iranians to try to find a peaceful settlement to this conflict. It was only when the president decided that the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith that he took this action. He didn't take it lightly, but I actually think it provides an opportunity to reset this relationship, reset these negotiations, and get us in a place where Iran can decide.
So that's interesting. JD Vance says that in Trump's perspective, that he felt that the Iranians were not negotiating faithfully.
Not to be a threat to.
So hold on, let me.
That the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith, and he took this action. He didn't take it lightly, but I actually
not
think it
in good
provides
faith.
an opportunity to reset this relationship, reset these negotiations, and get us in a place where Iran can decide not to be a threat to its neighbors, not to be a threat to the United States. And if they're willing to do that, the United States is all ears.
Well, let's talk about the possibility of negotiations. I mean, the Iranian foreign minister responded to the strikes this morning, saying Israel and the U.S. have, quote, blown up diplomacy. Mr. Vice President, is there any real hope for diplomacy, or is diplomacy dead at this point?
Well, I think the foreign minister is exactly wrong. We didn't blow up diplomacy. We only took this action, Kristen, when it was clear, as the president said, that the Iranians were tapping us along. I think it's important for the American people to appreciate here that if you go back to March of this year, we had the entire administration engaged in this diplomatic effort. And frankly, in March of this year, we had some optimism. How do we get from there to now? And the answer is we felt very strongly that the Iranians were stonewalling us. They weren't taking this seriously. They were trying to draw this process out as long as possible so that they could rebuild their nuclear weapons program without the threat of American action. We had a limited window in which we could take out this Fordo nuclear facility in particular. The president decided to take it, but we didn't blow up the diplomacy. The diplomacy never was given a real chance by the Iranians. And our hope, Kristen, as the president said repeatedly, is that this maybe can reset here. The Iranians have a choice. They can go down the path of peace, or they can go down the path of this ridiculous brinksmanship, of funding terrorism, of trying to build a nuclear weapon. And that's just not something the United States can accept. I want to say something, Kristen, just to the Iranian leadership. Look, they have tried to build a nuclear weapons program. That program is now destroyed. They tried to build a conventional missile program to attack neighbors in the region. That missile program has shown to be a failure. They have funded terrorism aggressively in the region, and now most of their terrorism proxies are destroyed. The Iranians are clearly not very good at war. Perhaps they should follow President Trump's lead and give peace a chance. If they're serious about it, I guarantee you the President of the United States is too.
So has the administration received any messages from the Iranians since the attack overnight?
Well, Kristen, I think as we sit here, it's been about 12 hours since what happened last night. We have received some indirect messages from the Iranians, and it's possible, of course, that some of my colleagues in the administration received something early this morning, and I haven't heard about it. But look, our expectation is we're going to learn a lot about what the Iranians want to do, how they want to proceed over the next 24 hours. Again, I just can't be clear enough here. The president has said he wants now to engage in a diplomatic process, but if the Iranians are not going to play ball here, they didn't leave us many options as it pertains to last night, and they won't leave us many options in the future.
If Iran disrupts the shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, which of course handles about a quarter of the world's oil trade, would that be a red line for the United States, Mr. Vice President?
Well, Kristen, I think our biggest red line is the Iranian nuclear weapons program. That is really what the president has said we need to get rid of.
But what about the Strait of Hormuz?
Steps towards doing that last night. Well, I think that would be suicidal, Kristen, for the Iranians themselves. I mean, their entire economy runs through the Strait of Hormuz. If they want to destroy their own economy and cause disruptions in the world, I think that would be their decision. But why would they do that? I don't think it makes any sense. I don't think that it makes sense for them or for anybody else. What would make sense is for them to come to the negotiating table to actually give up their nuclear weapons program over the long term. And again, if they're willing to do that, they're going to find a willing partner in the United States of America.
Mr. Vice President, when did President Trump exactly make this decision, and did he coordinate with Israel?
The president, honestly, Kristen, I don't know that any of us knew exactly when the president made the decision, except for the president himself. But if you back up a little bit, we engaged in this diplomatic process.
I'm on vertical, dude.
He decided
there is no
probably
donuts.
by mid-May that
I can't do
process was
donuts.
not going anywhere.
Not unless I
So
end
he
the stream and
decided
put
to
it back on.
issue private ultimatums to the
On
Iranians.
Prism.
And then eventually, of
I don't
course,
think
we
I
decided
can.
to
I'm doing it from the
destroy
YouTube app, so I can't.
and some of these other facilities ourselves. I think one of the
This is interesting. JD Vance says that, the Strait of Hormuz, why would they shut down the Strait of Hormuz and disrupt their own economy that is dependent on that being open? Very interesting stuff, actually. And that Trump feels that they were not negotiating in good faith. So, I mean, people act like, Trump doesn't have the power to do this stuff as the president, but, JFK did it with, actual soldiers or something. No, wait, that was technically through proxy, like the Cuba stuff. I think, anyway. I think there were maybe American soldiers in that whole shit. That's what Call of Duty Black Ops is about. But yeah, I don't know. This JD Vance interview is some good data. He's talking about some of the thinking that went into this. Maybe we won't have Black Ops 2 happen because we don't have a Kamala Harris as president.
Things that you saw from the president's team, and I really am proud of all of our guys at the senior team, is an operation of this magnitude, multiple B-2s, 14 to 30,000 pound bombs, and even an hour after the attack, the entire media, some of our enemies all over the world, they had no idea this was happening. And that's because you had a coherent team that was aligned.
So listen,
behind the
this is
president's
white
vision.
runts.
There weren't any leaks. I think that made our troops safer as they carried out this mission. And so it's really a testament to the entire team that we were able to do something like this at this scale without anybody noticing it.
But Mr. Vice President, if I could just try again, can you give me a specific date when President Trump said go? Was it Thursday? Was it yesterday before the B-2s left? When exactly did President Trump give that green light, that go?
Well, the final decision, Kristen, of course, is made right before, and I'm talking about
When was
minutes
that?
before the bombs were dropped. And of course, that was last night. And the president made very clear that the purpose here is to eliminate the Iranian nuclear program. So I think that he himself, over time, decided this was necessary. But of course, he had the ability to call off this attack until the very last minute. He obviously decided to proceed, and I think that we did great things for the American people because of it.
You know, the president says the nuclear enrichment sites were, quote, completely and totally obliterated. There is some question about that, though, this morning. Do you have 100% confidence that Iran's nuclear sites were totally destroyed?
Well, Kristen, I'm not going to get into sensitive intelligence about what we've seen on the ground there in Iran, but we've seen a lot, and I feel very confident that we have substantially delayed their development of a nuclear weapon, and that was the goal of this attack. That's why it was a success. And of course, what happens next, again, Kristen, is up to the Iranians.
Substantially delayed by years? What does
Well, again,
substantially?
Kristen, I'm not going to get into sensitive intelligence here, but I think that we have really pushed their program back by a very long time. I think that it's going to be many, many years before the Iranians are able to develop a nuclear weapon. But again, our goal is that they're never able to develop a nuclear weapons program, and that is a conversation that we're going to have with the Iranians and also with our allies in the region.
So Iran, again, has said that it would retaliate if the U.S. got involved. There are some 40,000 American troops in the Middle East. The Pentagon is on high alert. Is the U.S. bracing for Iran to target American troops in the region?
We're, of course, Kristen, doing everything that we can to keep our people safe. I think that we're prepared in the event that the Iranians do retaliate. But my message to the Iranians is it would be the stupidest thing in the world if they did. If you look at what happened last night, we had an incredibly targeted, precise, surgical strike on the nuclear facilities that are the target of the American operation. Our national interest is for Iran to not get a nuclear weapon. Our strikes last night facilitated that national objective. If the Iranians want to enlarge this by attacking American troops, I think that would be a catastrophic mistake. And as the president said last night, the Iranians would be met with an overwhelming force beyond that. So this is a very delicate moment, Kristen. I don't want to pretend that it's not. But I think the Iranians, if they're smart, they're going to have to look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe we're not so good at this war thing. Let's give peace a chance. Let's drop our nuclear weapons program and start to make some smart decisions. We're, of course, hoping that's exactly what the Iranians do.
And I have a number more questions, so I want to keep moving. How concerned is the administration that Iran or Iranian proxies could carry out a terrorist attack inside the United States?
Well, unfortunately, Kristen, we know that a lot of people who we don't have full accounting of were let in over the last 4 years under the Biden administration. We know that some of those people were on terrorism watch lists. We feel very confident in our FBI and law enforcement that we're on top of this situation. But yeah, we're looking at this very closely. We're doing everything that we can to keep our people safe. And this is one of the reasons why border security is national security, is if you let a bunch of crazy people into your country, those crazy people can eventually take action. We're going to do everything that we can to make sure that doesn't happen and to keep Americans safe.
Mr. Vice President, can you rule out that getting involved in this conflict won't eventually lead to U.S. boots on the ground?
Well, the president's been very clear, Kristen. We have no interest in a protracted conflict. We have no interest in boots on the ground. The president has actually been one of the fiercest critics of 25 years of failed foreign policy in the Middle East, which is why he did what he did. A very precise, a very surgical strike tailored to an American national interest. And that national interest is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It would be a disaster for us and for our allies in the region. So I don't fear that this is going to become a protracted conflict, because I think that we have a president who knows what's in America's interest and is willing to do the things necessary to accomplish that interest.
As you know, after an Iranian missile struck a hospital in Israel this week, Israel's defense minister said the Ayatollah, quote, can no longer be allowed to exist. Does the United States support Israel killing Iran's leader?
Well, look, that's up to the Israelis, but our view has been very clear that we don't want a regime change. We do not want to protract this or build this out any more than it's already been built out. We want to end their nuclear program, and then we want to talk to the Iranians about a long-term settlement here. We believe very strongly that there are two pathways. There's a pathway where Iran continues to fund terrorism, continues to try to build a nuclear program, attacks American troops, that's the bad pathway for Iran, and it will be met with overwhelming force. There's another pathway on the table here. There's a pathway where Iran integrates itself into the international community, stops funding terrorism, and stops trying to pursue a nuclear weapon. This is a reset. This is an opportunity for the Iranians to take the smart path. We certainly hope that they will.
Couple more questions and we're almost out of time. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said in March that, quote, Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. Democratic Senator Mark Warner, the vice chair of the Intelligence Committee, said he was briefed on Monday that, quote, the intelligence hasn't changed. So why launch this strike now? Has the intelligence changed, Mr. Vice President?
Well, a couple things about that, Kristen. So what Tulsi said back in March is that Iran was producing highly enriched uranium that was only consistent with them wanting to build a nuclear weapon. There's, of course, an open question about whether they were weeks away, whether they were months away, but they were way too close to nuclear weapon for the comfort of the President of the United States, which is why he took this action. Now, there's another element here, too, Kristen, which is that we had a narrow window of opportunity. We might not have been able to carry out this attack 6 months down the road. And so when you recognize, on the one hand, the Iranians are trying to get a nuclear weapon, and on the other hand, we have a narrow window in which we can set that program back a very long time, it would have been irresponsible, I think, for the president not to take the action that he did, which is why Fordo was destroyed last night.
And just to be very clear, did the president say go based on U.S. intelligence or Israeli intelligence?
Well, of course, we share intelligence with a lot of agencies, British, Israeli, and so forth, but it was our intelligence that motivated us to act. And I think on the intelligence, Kristen, the thing that I would really emphasize is the way in which the Iranians seem to be stonewalling us. That was not, by the way, our consensus back in March of this year. We saw the Iranians making some concessions. We thought the conversations were actually productive.
Yeah.
By mid-May, everybody in our intelligence community and the president's senior team looked at ourselves and said, the Iranians are not being serious. They're no longer making concessions. They're no longer actually responding to some of the offers that we're making. If you believe, as we did, that the Iranians are rushing towards a nuclear weapons program while simultaneously refusing to negotiate, how can we do anything but take serious action against this program?
Do you and President Trump trust the U.S. intelligence community and its assessments?
Oh, of course we trust our intelligence community, but we also trust our instincts, and most importantly, we trust what the intelligence was telling us about the Iranian stonewalling the negotiation. I think that is really the hidden story here, and something the media has got to report a little bit more here, is that the Iranians stopped negotiating in good faith. That was the real catalyst, I think, to what the president ultimately decided to do. If we were having a productive negotiation, I think that this could have gone in a much different pathway. Unfortunately, the Iranians decided to stonewall us, and we saw the consequences of that last night.
Mr. Vice President, very quickly, as you know, this is dividing lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Many Republicans supportive, but Congressman Thomas Massey saying this was unconstitutional. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying it's grounds for impeachment, saying the president should have gotten congressional approval first. What do you say to members of Congress who say it was unconstitutional for the president to act unilaterally?
Well, I'd say two things, Kristen, and this is very important. First of all, the president has clear authority to act to prevent the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and the worst weapon of mass destruction of them all is nuclear. The idea that this was outside of presidential authority, I think any real serious legal person would tell you that's not true. And the second thing is, Kristen, I certainly empathize with Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East. I understand the concern, but the difference is that back then we had dumb presidents, and now we have a president who actually knows how to accomplish America's national security objectives. So this is not going to be some long, drawn-out thing. We've got in. We've done the job of setting their nuclear program back. We're going to now work to permanently dismantle that nuclear program over the coming years, and that is what the president has set out to do. Simple principle. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That has animated American policy over the past 130 days. It's going to continue to be a driving force of our policy in the Middle East for the next 3.5 years.
Vice President JD Vance, thank you for joining us on a pivotal day. We hope you will come back very soon.
Thanks, Kristen. Good morning.
We thank you.
just in that Iran directly threatened America? Top tonight, NBC News has learned that message from Iran was conveyed to President Trump by an intermediary during last week's G7 summit, warning the president if he launched airstrikes against Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran could respond by unleashing terrorist attacks on the U.S. by activating sleeper cells it has inside this country, according to U.S. officials, all as we learn new details about those historic strikes. Tonight, the new video B-2 bombers returning to their Missouri base after those secretive strikes. And now our first look at the targets they hit inside Iran. These before and after images show the massive impact of the U.S. attack on Isfahan, one of 3 Iranian nuclear facilities hit. Initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction. The commander-in-chief with this declaration overnight.
I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success.
So basically, the fact that Trump obliterated these sites makes it so that, you know, if Iran sent that message to Trump before, like during the G7 and whatnot, then that means that they were threatening to do it. And the media is the media. They do what they do. They always warp things a little bit for their purposes. They said that they can. They said they could do that if they instead of saying that they will. You know, like the threat. And it's like that's how it works. So pretty much, Iran, they already say death to America. Like Trump isn't wrong about that stuff. And these people have been at war against America for decades. Like they've been trying to destroy us for many years. They come here unvetted. Plenty of radical ones, evil radical ones, and you know, they set up shop with all this money, and they make it so that it's impossible for us in America, native-born Americans, to have jobs and money. So, you know, I mean, it's not that hard to explain. And it's probably not even going to change. Like, there's some corruption stuff with all this. Like, I don't even trust all this stuff with Trump at the same time. But, yeah. I'm not one to talk crap about Trump because, you know, there's still things going on like that. I don't know, man. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much, like, I don't think that it's crazy to think that the sleeper cells are activated because pretty much they threaten to, if Trump does this and then he does this, you know, he hits the sites. So, yeah. And then it's also like, what happens if those Iranians, like it, I don't know, how unstable is that nuclear site? Do they have if they have the stockpiled, like, if they're enriching uranium at those sites, right? There has to be other little storage centers that they have somewhere else that has a little bit of this uranium that they've been putting away. So what if they have something that they're going to make a bomb with, and then they're going to go and try to, launch an attack? So yeah, I don't know. Like there's, and then it's also like I read something about other, like, I don't know. Let me see about this one. And yeah, definitely they're talking about bases being attacked by Iranians and Iraq and whatnot. And it's like, how do we know that Trump didn't read this shit and be insulted as hell and be like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, you're gonna threaten me? You're gonna threaten the United States of America? Now, some people think it's like, sure, that can be world stage type stuff, like it's all scripted or something. But some people think that. But at the same time, um, you have to wonder. It's like, so if you were president and the Iranians sent you a letter and you're at the G7, threatening you that they're going to do the sleeper cells, like what's supposed to be your reaction, right? The U.S. does whatever the Pope wants. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Yeah, because yeah, a lot of people think that the Vatican runs everything. That's definitely what Jordan Maxwell used to say, and I remember watching some Jordan Maxwell, and I remember he used to talk about that exactly. That it all comes back down to the Vatican and to the Pope, period, and the Jesuits. And there's a lot of people who stay true to that whole thing. I haven't done all of the required reading for sure, but I do think that when you look at things, like people don't seem to come short with that research. At the very least, is all I can say. Like, I don't think that people come short. I wouldn't be surprised. I would highly think that that's very likely what's honestly going on. Because, just because all that, yeah, I don't know. People say no heroes and stuff. People say Trump's a freak, just like the rest of them. I don't know. But I'm not trying to be demoralized here at the same time. Because regardless of what happens with Trump, I still think that people should hold true to something to aspire to, something that's still formidable and American, perhaps, or Western. Trump is a dictator? Well, what U.S. president isn't a dictator, right? I mean, do you know about the fascist symbols in the Senate House? If it's not Trump, it's someone else who bows to the American Pope. Yeah. So, what's to be done about that? What's to be done about the power? I mean, yeah. I mean, damn. If it's not Trump, it's someone else who bows to the American Pope. Yeah. I mean, so is Trump bowing to this Pope? Maiwand Khan? Listen, Maiwand Khan. What's your deal? Where are you from? You ask a question like that as if you're from another country, so why are you funding Israel? Oh, you're from Pakistan? Like, what is the reason? Is Israel owns you or you own them? I mean, a lot of people have said along the way that we own Israel, that Israel wouldn't exist the United States, but then the other side thinks that Israel owns the United States. Like, so I don't know, honestly. But I think that I've heard things like that the Iron Dome missile thing was an American invention before, and that all that stuff is our technology. I heard. I don't know. I think that there's a whole thing with British Israel. I thought that it was Britain that had to do with what created Israel in the first place, and like there's a whole like British Israel thing. And then I think that the British has to do. So I think that the British has had undue influence in our politics throughout time, even after the Revolution and the Revolutionary War, the famous Revolutionary War of the United States in 1776, where we signed our Declaration of Independence and fought against the British Redcoats. A beautiful, magnificent part of our history. And yeah, so in a way, us Americans, we don't like the idea of people coming along saying that, oh, the British ran all of our politics later on after the Revolutionary War. But there was something to be said about it all because it did happen, and the British did it to like everybody. I think I'm pretty damn sure they've done some things for sure. I don't know if they outright completely own our soul of who we are, or that they ought to not. I don't think any country ought to do that to us because we're the United States and we're cool. We're pretty damn cool. That's what I can say. In our own ways. I mean, there's definitely stupid Americans and like strange, fat, beer drinking Americans. But every country has got that, probably. But I don't know. Like, pretty much, man, Israel doesn't own us. If anything, um, it's probably the other way around. Not when it comes to the United States. I've heard people describe it as Israel being a satellite of the United States, but I don't really know. I mean, people say like I'd like to see Israel go do all that without the American money. So, in a way, that's honestly what I think is the case. And then other than that, it's just like yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a heavy Israel lobby in the United States, and it's been complained about for a long time. That's all I could say. But everybody knows that. Anyways, I mean, Pakistan, like, what the hell, what's a guy in Pakistan even asking me questions like this? Like, you make me feel funny. Like, I'm telling somebody in a faraway land something about our political fucking bullshit that we go through. We got Pakistanis showing up in here. We got Russians showing up in here. Something special about the nation of Israel. Not since the Jews are no longer God's chosen people. Yeah, I mean, isn't that a sad little idea? A sad little concept there? But I don't rule that out at all because that's what the Bible dictates. So, I mean, yeah, and basically it's the same thing as, what the Jews are supposed to believe, pretty much. I mean, not unless I'm getting something wrong here. But yeah, God said, Iran is our neighbor, and Israel said that Iran is our first target, and then Pakistan. Oh, well, yeah, I've heard things about like other countries too. I'm not sure, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't trust that Netanyahu per se, man. I don't know. I think that like Israel has I think Israel has attacked the United States before with the U.S.S. Liberty and whatnot. I think that there's an interesting little relationship between the United States and Israel. I don't know if I could say that they're all that like I don't know. Like I don't know if I could say that I don't know. Damn. I don't know if I can truly say that, like, I don't want to talk that much about it. I don't want to talk about what I think, but I do. Damn. Damn. All right. Why? Damn it, man. Okay. That sucks. I was gonna use the AI to ask it something, but it just like ate what I said and didn't search it. All right, so I'm gonna look up what's on the news about this. So yeah, I guess all that's left. Trump did mention regime change in Iran, and that it's something about MIGA. So yeah, CNBC here says Iran's parliament backs blocking Strait of Hormuz. Its closure would alienate Tehran further. Iran is blocking the Hormuz Strait. Yep, that's what it's saying right here. It says published, updated 2 hours ago. Iran followed through on its threat to close the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, should Iran follow through, it could alienate its neighbors and trade partners, but the possibility of a closure of the strait is low, experts said. Despite Tehran's rhetoric around closing the strait, a closure would provoke Iran's markets in Asia, particularly China, which accounts for a majority of Iran oil exports. Iran may be threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, but experts told CNBC that it's also the one with the most to lose. A major move after U.S. struck Iranian nuclear sites, the country's parliament on Sunday approved the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. According to a report from Iran's state-owned press TV that and CNBC could not independently verify, the step would risk alienating Tehran's neighbors and trade partners. The decision to close the waterway now rests with the country's National Security Council, and its possibility has raised the specter of higher energy prices and aggravating geopolitical tensions, with Washington calling upon Beijing to prevent the strait's closure. Vandana Hari, founder of energy intelligence firm Vanda Insights, told CNBC's possibility of the closure remains absolutely minimalistic. So they're trying to downplay it and act like, oh, it's probably not going to happen. But you know what they're looking for. These people that run the affairs of our lives, the people that run everything. They want more madness, more pain, more starvation, more suffering. They want depopulation. They want the collapse of civilization and have their order out of chaos and all that. So they think Iran won't do it because they're too afraid to hurt themselves. But the Antichrist? What about it? Oh, they cannot change the regime in Iran because Iran can fight wars for decades. Ex Iran Iraq war, 8 years on. On the other hand, Iran is a mountain region. That's what he wants, chaos and death. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't exactly. So we're gonna have to monitor the situation, I suppose, and see what happens with the. Because I almost feel like the Iranians would close the strait on purpose to disrupt the global economy, provoke a war, because they see things in a religious lens, if I'm not mistaken. So therefore, they're going to try to provoke their I don't know. I think that they're going to try to provoke their jihadist tendencies, and they're and like try to like U.S.A. also try to change regime in Afghanistan, but he failed because he tried to get rid of Taliban, but at the end, they shake the hand with them. Yeah, I mean, you have a point, but something's up with all that. The Antichrist wrote the Quran and Quran. Yeah, huh. Well, what I think that they're going to try to provoke a war if they have any kind of cards like that. If they can block that straight, they're probably gonna. I mean, maybe not, but I think that they might. And then it's like if they do that, because they just got, if you think about it, they just got humiliated. They just got humiliated, and their nuclear sites blown to hell. So they can't do those things the same way that they were hoping to or planning to, I suppose. So I mean, it just fits, and then it's like if it's going to aggravate China and piss them off, and like what if it makes it so that China feels even stronger that they have to get into a war right now with the US and whatnot, you know what I mean? So, and then it's also there's just a nuclear war risk with all these types of things. I mean, Trump just irradiated them a bit. It's like I don't know, that has to be bad for their um general area over there. So they're definitely like there's definitely some radiation over there probably or something like that. Like what the hell? And it's like, oh, Iran has so little to achieve from closing the strait. I mean, why not? I mean, they might as well. They just got defeated basically. They just got completely humiliated in a huge way. I don't know, man. There will be a civil war before World War III. Yeah, and what you think that if there's a civil war, it'll be the cities versus the country? Damn, this has been pretty cool to do a little show like this. So, I'm thinking I'm gonna do this a bit more often. Sir, why America attacked Iran? Because CIA also confirms that Iran doesn't have any nuclear weapons or weapon of mass destruction. Trump is just coping. President Bush that he attacked Iraq but found none. Yeah, well, at the same time, you see, let me think. No, Tulsi Gabbard said that basically that they don't got nukes, but they have everything they need. And then Marco Rubio said that they got everything they need to make a nuke. And then Trump said that, well, if they can make nukes, we have to blow up their nuke site. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I think that it's to start a war for the military industrial complex, most likely, you know. And yeah. What about IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency? They also confirm that. They confirm what? Tell me what they confirm. Yo, no! I forgot that damn song recommendation from way earlier. Let me see if it's still there. I feel like a jerk. No, dude. Wait, did that guy delete his comment? You gotta be kidding me. That's not fucking cool, dude. Oh, Cytera Veritan song, Fury. Yeah, but how do you know that? If they have enriched uranium, they can have tactical nukes. They can fuck us up. They could fuck people up with that shit. And they're crazy fucking radical, America hating, Western society hating, jihadist, rapist motherfuckers. They're coming in across our borders, fucking raping our women, impregnating our fucking women, and fucking kidnapping our women and shit, selling them on the fucking black market back to their fucking country. I don't want to hear it, dude. And you know what? Fucking Pakistan and fucking who is it that you guys are at fucking war with all the time? Why don't you fucking come back to me about when you guys got your shit all sorted out with India? Because from what I hear, you guys are just fucking sitting there at each other's fucking throats. You want to tell us how to deal with our international shit? Why are they against U.S.A? What is the reason? Because they are Muslim, Arab, jihadist, radical motherfuckers that say death to America and burn our flags because we stand for freedom in Western democratic fucking well, not democratic entirely, but Western, old Western society values. We stand for what our ancestors stand for, just like they do. And they stand for fucking murder and bloodshed and fucking raping and killing and pillaging our people because and no, No, it's not. We're not the reason. It's because they hate us because they want to act like the victim because, oh, we decided to go to Iraq and stuff and whatnot. Well, you know what? Such is the way of the world and such is war. I mean, if you go read the Bible, you'll read about all kinds of wars and they happen for all kinds of non-reasons. Who are you to really tell another society, like, what are you going to do, stand there and not fight back when somebody's coming to over the hills and trying to take over your society? Because that's what's happening with Islamic Muslim people coming here. They don't hate you, they hate Israel, but America funded Israel. No, that's just a bullshit talking point in your stupid Arabic fucking propaganda and your dumbass Pakistani propaganda. I mean, maybe you're just fucking uneducated, dude, because it's a lot more complex than just they hate Israel. No, they hate fucking Western values. They hate Western society. They hate us because we're not them. That's all that the shit is. They're jihadists, man. They would fucking blow you up if you're not like them. American Freemasonry and the Vatican created Israel. Yeah, I mean, even if America is responsible for Israel's origin at all, which is also groups like Britain, from what I understand, unless I'm tripping, but they answer to the Vatican as well and whatnot. So I get what you mean anyway. And whatever, Freemasonry comes from Europe and all that in the first place. But like, what you don't understand, what do they scream? Fatah, Fatah. Yeah. So, bro, why are you angry? I just asked some simple question. No, dude, you're trying to say that we like answer to Israel or something while also asking me. No, they don't just fucking hate Israel. They hate America too. That's bullshit. Fuck you, memory log. What are you agreeing with this Pakistani? This guy is sitting here trying to say that they're just angry at Israel. You're telling me that the fucking the Iranians and the Arab people and the fucking like. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying that there's not a huge fucking percentage, and especially now, this shit's about to go into overdrive. They're about to fucking persecute us like nobody's ever seen in a long time. But you guys can play your fucking games, whatever. I'm just saying that um, that's what they're all about. No? Well, memory log, why don't you say something? Say something, bud. I'm mocking the finger sign? Oh, like how when the I get what you mean. Bro, USA lobby funded it. I'm not joking. And UN America veto 57 times, 80 to help Israel. Yeah, but that's because America sides with Israel because Israel more aligns with Western philosophy and Western values, and they're not radically against us like that. We've only had one problem or two with Israel or so, you know. I mean, there's some things with Israel. They're not perfect, but dude, listen. I'm not like an Israel simp, but I think that there's a difference between the countries. I'm not going to sit here and be like an Iran simp over an Israel simp, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, if I were to pick between the two, do you really want me to pick between the two countries? Because I pick my country and what's good. And you know what? Yeah, Israel belongs to America, not the other way around, dude. And even, yeah, so like, think Trump need Nobel Peace Prize, but I see chaos. An Iran secretary went to Russia to talk to Putin. Yeah, and they're probably going to be asking him for fucking help or something. Israel is USA's beachhead in the Middle East. Is this World War III? Yes. Most likely. Yes. That's what I think. It has to be World War III. I mean, or coming, and it's in the horizon. But I think that these have been some special days that we've been seeing. You don't just necessarily, I don't know, like when you start seeing all those missile battles between Israel and Iran before all this in the first place, you knew something was up. So, you know, regardless of even if you've had your head in the clouds for a little bit and you haven't been paying attention. So if China and Russia jumps in this war, how will Trump handle, bro? Relax. I'm against lobby, not against people. Well, if that happens, it could become it could become they might not help Iran. If there's a war that starts, it might be because they jump in. I feel like, and I feel like if they don't jump in, there won't be a war. Maybe they don't, because maybe it is true some of the talk that Iran doesn't have the capability to defend itself against Trump. Yeah, I mean against the United States and Israel and whatnot, and who knows, but. It depends on what this all unfolds into. I can't really say that I know exactly the future. All the American churches can now lobby for laws. Oh, and isn't there something in the Constitution about that? Like, there will be no law that will respect religious establishment or whatever. China will jump due to Hormuz Strait because he purchased 40% of oil. Yeah, so if they close the Strait of Hormuz, that will entice China to get more involved, to actual. And I've heard rumors that China is already deploying some kind of amounts of troops or something. I've heard talk and chatter. They're going to change the Constitution. They've already been changing the Constitution. The Constitution was more wholesome back in the beginning. And if we could get better amendments, maybe things could have been different. Or maybe things could be different with the Constitution. I wish things could be different, but I know that that's what's happening. And also, yeah, so China will jump due to the Hormuz Strait, and that's precisely what will happen probably if they block the strait, or some kind of other thing like the United States just like blowing the fuck up out of their ships and all that, and we'll have further, I don't know, perhaps escalations. We'll see, I suppose. But and that's the thing, is that Trump doing this the way he's doing, that's a bit bold. And then what happens is that China will get involved even quicker because Trump's making some big moves all of a sudden in their mind, and then we got war in World War III over fucking Iran, or I don't know. If we have World War III, that's crazy shit. That's all I could say. And whatever. Sorry if I was fucking rude to you for being from Pakistan or whatever, but I'm just saying I was just trying to make crack a joke about the you kind of disregarded what I was saying about you and the Indians having your fights and all that. But whatever. Um, you know, It's pretty fun, though. It's pretty cool. Answers our questions. Well, thank you for your respect. People in my own country find it impossible to respect me. So, you know, you respect me. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this has been actually very cool, very fun to be able to sit here and talk with a whole bunch of different people about what's going on. And I think I should start doing this some more. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get off though, pretty much, like now in a little bit. So, because I got stuff to do and whatnot and whatever. So I'll be back on later. Like I'll be back on later in the day, maybe, or maybe tonight. What is the time over there? Right now it's 12 o'clock noon. Like it's 12:06 right now, noon time. That's because people in the USA have no respect. Law, not even for themselves. Truer words have never been spoken. Not even respect for themselves. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna have to monitor these situations because their parliament supports blocking the Strait of Hormuz. Apparently, that translates to oil prices being higher and possibility of war. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a World War III. Maybe maybe this is a shakeup of geopolitical situations, especially like this could shake things up. Who knows? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna end the stream. I'll just end it at the 2 hour and 30 minute mark. Alright, yeah. When the store shelves empty, the people will get angry. Yep. And they'll lose their minds and they'll get violent. And society will break down and civilization will collapse. It's hell on earth, kid. This might have been one of the coolest little streams I've ever done, especially anything political related. So this has been a lot of fun. Like I said, we got to do this stuff more. So anyway, peace out, guys. I'm gonna end it. Bye.